and welcome to Smaulgld's Indian silver import update for the month of October 2016. Indian silver imports rose 42% in October. October 2016 Indian silver imports were 319 tons, or approximately 10.256 million ounces. Indian silver imports were up 42% from the 225 tons imported last month, or 7.23 million ounces. Silver imports, however, were down 55% from last year's 703 tons, or 22.6 million ounces imported in October. Now, will India's demonetization and war on gold lead to greater silver demand in India? The short answer is probably no, because India's demonetization and war on gold is actually greater than either of those. What India is doing is fighting a war on black money, which means they are trying to close off all avenues of off-grid transactions, which includes cash, gold, and of course anything else they can control, ban, tax, outlaw, whatever it is. So it's not that India is only focused on eliminating cash, only focused on eliminating or reducing demand for gold, or trying to get greater reporting for gold, or taxation of gold, or maybe even eventually confiscation of gold. I don't think they'll go that far, other than if they find tax violations, which they'll probably find more in increasing numbers. However, it doesn't mean that there's an easy escape hatch, that all Indians have to do is go out and substitute their gold buying for silver or for diamonds or for platinum. Government knows one thing: how to use the law to get its way, and how to capture revenue, and how to capture assets. Other than that, it doesn't produce anything. So it's not like if that somehow silver is going to be immune from this war on black money. However, there are other reasons for Indian silver demand to increase. Other than just as a switch from gold, there are still industrial applications in India. India has a very vibrant solar industry that requires silver to fund. It also does have, Indians do buy silverware and jewelry, and they're not going to stop, just as they're probably not going to stop trying to buy gold. It's just that whatever roadblocks they put up in front of gold, you can bet they'll put them up in front of silver. So let's take a look, though, historically with Indian silver. Now, there is an entire report I did on Indian silver. It's in the blog post that's linked below. You can click on it and you can get more information on Indian silver. This report focuses mostly on this month's imports, or the most recent months that reported October's imports. But Indian silver imports rose 20% in 2015 for 2014, but now they've fallen 57% in the first 10 months of this year. So in October, they imported 10 million ounces, which is good, and that brings the total amount to about 95 million ounces in 2016. But last year at this time, they had imported about 220 million ounces. So here's a chart. And silver imports have been negatively impacted. They don't have the tariff like they have on gold, but there was a jewelry strike. The price was higher this year than last year. Indians were smart last year. They bought a lot of silver last year when the prices were at multi-year lows. This year, especially in the first half of the year, the price was very high, comparatively speaking, so they imported and purchased less. Also, the reason India, it's a very important point, is really concerned about gold imports is because the value of those hurts their trade deficit, because they import billions of dollars worth of gold. They don't import that much silver. The entire silver market is only worth, in an annual year, I think the annual silver production is worth about $13 billion. So they're less concerned about silver imports because they're not worth as much. Gold, actually, the quantities that they bring in can really offset their budget deficit. So you see here, this is one of the worst years in a while, although the last 3 years are record years. You had 8,529 tons imported last year. This year we'll probably import over 3,000, 3,100, 3,200. It's yet to be seen what the imports will be like in November. Remember, October was before the demonetization that happened in early November. But put it in context. Make no mistake, India is a big silver importer. Even though silver imports are down this year through the first 9, 10 months of the year, they still have imported almost 100 million ounces, which is more than the record amount of silver required to make all the silver eagles last year, the 47 million, and all the silver eagles that were made this year, the 37.7 million. So India remains a very vibrant silver nation in terms of how much it imports. Just a quick reminder, if you're interested in donating to Smaulgld to continue these reports, please do so through the link. Also, you can sign up for Smaulgld updates by clicking on the link, or always at the top of the page, you can fill in your email address, and I will send you updates like this one. Also, if you're interested in purchasing American Silver Eagles or any other coins or bars or rounds or gold, you can do so through the Smaulgld site. Smaulgld has affiliate arrangements with a number of top gold and silver bullion dealers. If you do so, Smaulgld makes a small commission. So through donations and from precious metal sales, that's how Smaulgld makes its costs for operating this site. Not recommending you buy gold or silver, but if you're interested in buying and you're going to buy, you pay no more, no less than if you buy through the Smaulgld link. So please check them out and compare prices and shipping. And if you interested in buying, please do so through the Smaulgld affiliates. Now, monthly silver imports, you can see this year I broke it down by month. This month, we've had a few very low months, February and May, and this has nothing to do with increased tariffs. There were no tariffs on silver the way there were on gold. It's just the price was high, and probably they had gotten their fill in the prior months here, so they've kind of slacked off on the buying, although it's been increasing the last couple of months. Yet to be seen what happens in November, and then again this month in December after the demonetization has taken impact. There's your pitch again for the donation to Smaulgld. But let's look at Indian silver imports compared to global silver mining production. Now, last year, silver mining production reached a peak, even though there were some analysts who were saying that silver demand had fallen off the table in 2000. Silver supply, production had fallen off the table in 2015 and indicated that we were running out of silver. They couldn't keep up with production. Demand was skyrocketing. Silver was going to be $100 an ounce. I had pointed out in late 2015 that silver mining production had increased. It's true, it did, according to many of the analysts who cover silver that say how much silver was produced. And yes, indeed, I was correct. The Silver Institute said global silver mining production increased last year. Societe Generale, the CPM Group, Statistica, and the Peruvian Mexican governments all reported increases in silver mining production in 2015. Now, of course, the story changes. Well, then 2015, that was peak silver, and that'll never happen again. But again, we watch it. We report the facts. I'm not trying to hype silver, or I'm not trying to debase silver either, except last year silver mining production was up, even though some analysts tried to insist that production was falling off the table. But now let's take that silver mining production and put it into context with what India did last year. So India actually imported more silver than the number one silver producing country, Mexico. Mexico produced just shy of 200 million ounces last year. You can see almost all of the top silver producing countries produced more silver last year in 2015 than they did in 2014. But if you take India's silver demand and compare it to Peru and Mexico, India imported 273 million ounces. That's about a third of the total 870 million ounces of silver mined in the world. So it's equal to the entire production of Mexico, and throw in Australia. So basically, to satisfy India, you got to take all of Mexico's production and all of Australia's production to satisfy India. Now, China is the third largest producer of silver. They don't export much of it. So you got to take off the top of the global silver mining production of about 870 million for the whole world and knock that down to 770 million, because China is silver is not available for the rest of the world. So then basically India last year ate up over a third of the 870 million, but even more of the 770 million ounces that were available. So India still remains, even at its lower rate this year, a very, very important component of total silver demand. Look at this chart. So there's your global silver mining production in 2015. Indian silver imports in 2013, 14, and 15 were nearly 700 million ounces. So in 3 years, they almost eat up the entire silver mining production of last year. But look at this, 1986 to 2016. This is the total American Silver Eagle sales. They're still less. This is from 1986. This is 30 years worth of silver Eagle coin sales. Still less than the amount of silver that India imported just in 3 years. Just last year, look at that, 273. And then you compare it to the American Silver Eagle record sales. Doesn't look like that much. Sounds like a lot to us, 47 million ounces. But last year, Indian silver imports are 273 million. I don't have what they have this year, but this year it's 95 million. So you can see in 1 year, India takes in more silver, twice as much silver as American Silver Eagle in a record year needs to produce that record amount of 47 million. That about does it for today. Thanks for listening. Thanks for donating. They help. Those donations do help us out. And also, I see some people are purchasing some gold and silver through the site. That's appreciated as well. Thank you very much.